This is part 3 of my trip to Guatemala, which means we are hiking to the top of the Acatenango volcano, which is mind-blowing, you'll see. But before diving into this video, first a small recap how this adventure started. My name is Elizabeth and me and my cousin always had a dream of traveling together. And last March we did. We packed our backpacks and got on an airplane to Guatemala. Our trip starts in Antigua, from where we travel further to El Paredon, Lake Atitlan, Xela, Lanquin, Flores, and our last destination, Rio Dulce. And today we are leaving Antigua for a 2-day hike to the Acatenango and Fuego, both volcanoes lying next to each other. And we are so excited, but also a tiny bit nervous. So let's pick up the story from the day before, the preparations. If you book a hiking tour like ours, you have a meeting with the whole group already the night before the actual hike. During this meeting, they explain things about the route, what you can expect, and most importantly, what you need to prepare for the hike. After this helpful meeting, we therefore went to a shop to get what we still needed, as some items were provided by the organization and some not. Like, for example, 4 liters of water per person. After we bought everything we needed, next was dinner. And this place was great. Very early the next day, we packed our stuff and gathered at the place of the organization, where we had the last preparations.
Dat is echt niet handig, niet even zitten.
What are you doing, Eliza?
Old fashion, look at that.
And off we went to breakfast. Having finished all the lovely food, we got back on the bus, which drove us to the starting point of our trail, which was still quite a ride. Being on that bus, I was both still tired due to the short night, but also high in energy, as I was both excited, also a bit scared.
So, Eliza, how are you feeling? Yeah. Yeah, so this is day 3 in Antigua and we're now going to hike up Volcano, which is now inside. I'm just searching of it. Yeah, so we're feeling good right now, but they say it's going to be hard. So I'm curious how we feel after tonight. We're gonna sleep on the volcano and then we're gonna hike back. So we'll see how we go. This is before, fresh, and we'll see how it will be after.
This is where we walked on paved roads for like 2 seconds, and where I still thought it would be fun. Right after this short paved path, our route changed drastically into a really non-paved one. And also a very steep one. And as always, the camera doesn't do justice to how steep it actually is. Time for our first short break.
How are you feeling? It's tough. We have an apple.
And some hard kilometers later was the next short stop.
Go down breakthrough. How are you doing? Okay, slow and steady, slow and steady.
As you probably can see by now, is that 1, it's quite dusty out there, as my face is clearly more dirty than it was at the start, and 2, that I'm already having a quite hard time out there, and it's only gonna get harder. But also more beautiful. On to stop number 3.
Okay, break 3. And we have nuts.
Jeez, nuts?
All you're doing is smelling that because the heat, and it's just like made me so nauseous. I was like, I would never do that.
Oh, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? It's also
Feeling pretty great.
so dusty. Like,
Honest to God, Grand Canyon versus everyone else.
she's feeling really great.
Yep, at this point I was really struggling. The steep and tough path in combination with the height difference make this route a really hard one. As by now I am really out of breath with every step and I don't have any appetite, I really underestimated the impact of the height difference. But the route was also really nice, so I really tried to enjoy it as much as I could. And walking for a bit with these called porters, who mostly walked with 2 bags on their back, I really felt motivated as I knew I could do it with only 1 bag if they could do it with 2. Stop number 4. And as I'm editing this, it kind of feels like we had a lot of breaks, but I want to make clear that it really didn't feel like that. And these breaks were mostly around 5 minutes just to eat a snack and drink some water.
Yeah, go.
I guess there are no words needed here, only slow and steady. When we were halfway through the trek to base camp, it was time for lunch. But as I already mentioned, altitude sickness had caught me a bit, which meant that I, besides being out of breath after each step, also was nauseous, and especially when I ate something. So eating something for lunch was hard. For me. But we kept on smiling.
Eliza, how was lunch? Yeah, it's so freaking beautiful. Oh my god.
Step by step we continued our route, and although after lunch the path didn't turn into Netherlands flat as they had promised, the path did become more doable. However, the lack of oxygen stayed unfortunately the same. As we came higher and higher, the landscapes changed during our walk and the views become more and more impressive.
Oh yeah. Look at this, so beautiful.
And here we had our first clear view on the active volcano Fuego. And just as I have lost faith that this journey will ever end, we approach base camp.
We made it! Oh my god!
A little surprise from her.
Oh my god.
Little burp like you on the way here.
I'm seeing. Oop. Do the dance, do the dance. Hi. Whoop, woo. Yeah.
Arriving here was amazing as the views were stunning and we had made it after a really tough hike. But arriving at the base camp was for some not the end of this already exhausting and challenging day. Because where some chose to enjoy the campfire, others chose to go on yet another hike to the Fuego volcano, including, yep, my cousin and I. As we dropped our stuff in the cabin and changed into warmer clothes, we got back on our feet and started yet another challenging hike. This hike included a walk down of a part of the Acatenango volcano and a steep hike up the Fuego volcano. There we would then watch the sunset before we would go back the same route in the dark. After hiking down, we had a short break and then we went for it. And although the whole experience was tough, doing both of these hikes in one day, the views were worth it. Climbing higher and higher, the landscapes weren't like anything else I had ever seen, as we were above the clouds and being surrounded by other volcanoes, while standing on one myself.
So amazing! Holy.
And then, after a whole day of hiking, we had finally made it. We all were so proud that we had made it all the way up. And my cousin and I were celebrating that in a special way. While struggling during the hike, we made an agreement about the 2 Snickers that we brought as a snack. We agreed that we only would eat it if we were really struggling. And as we didn't eat them during the hike of the day, we decided to eat them together as a way of celebrating. And they tasted really good.
Yeah.
Because look at these views.
Volcano de Fuego, and it's so amazing.
Oh my god, so fucking high.
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
Really good. Cold, but excited to be here after a long. We started the day at 9 today. We walked until 6, and we have to go back.
But we got this view.
Yeah, it's worth it, definitely. We're gonna watch it also in the dark, and maybe it's gonna erupt. Oh my god!
As you can see, I was really happy, so I did a lot of happy dances.
Slurp.
For a while, we could chill here and enjoy the views. Slowly, the sun sank into the horizon and we enjoyed the last moments of light of that day. And the longer we were there, the more active the volcano became, which was an incredible experience. As the sun had completely set, it was time to go back, which meant going down and up again to the base camp. A couple hours later, again in the dark, another group of people, yup, including my cousin and I, was listening to our guide for some instructions for another hike, namely to the summit of the Acatenango. And as I slept max an hour and a half, I felt crap. And that in combination with our guide telling us that this part would be the hardest one of all the hikes so far, made me really nervous. But we went for it anyway, we had to try. For me, as you can hear, this was indeed the hardest part of the entire trip so far, as I had slept only a couple of hours and I had too little food in my body, as we didn't have breakfast yet, and the night before I didn't eat much for dinner as I was still nauseous. Besides that, the path was also made mostly of loose gravel, which meant that you did one step up the hill and you got at least half step back, which was also mentally very tough. But we made it. The reason why we left so early was to see the sunrise, and that's what we did. Enjoying these stunning views while looking how the sun starts spreading her light.
Yes! We made it. We fucking made it. Woo! How are we feeling? Oh, dead.
Only down from here.
And while we were chilling for a bit, two other people from our group decided to accept the challenge of the crater run. And yes, that is literally what it says. Yep, a run around the crater. Crazy.
2, 1, let's go! Let's go, Pan! Vamos! Let's go, buddy!
Now for real. Woo! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Almost there! Almost there.
After cheering for this crazy challenge, which they both completed, it was time to go back to the base camp, have some breakfast and go further down. On the break we had while moving to the base camp, everyone emptied their shoes, as your shoes almost disappeared in the gravel with every step.
Whoop! There's a crater runner.
The one and only. Okay, let's go.
The walk down was beautiful and we were back in the base camp in no time. And there we could enjoy our banana bread.
This is so good now. I fell in love.
But we didn't have too long to chill as we needed to make ourselves ready for the final walk down, which included again emptying our shoes. Time to say goodbye to this beautiful view. Going down wasn't of course as exhausting as going up, so the pace was much faster this time. I, however, still took the time to make some shots. Going down, my body did still hurt, but I also had a feeling of accomplishment and relief, as from now on, the only way was going down. nice touch of this hike are the dogs. Both on our way up as also on our way down here, we were a lot of time accompanied by these lovely dogs who seem to be just always there, and sometimes also on the moments you could really use some support. Yep, and this last part was still quite demanding. Because large parts were very slippery due to the thin layer of gravel on the path, we had to be careful not to fall with our tired feet.
Yeah, I like it. Eliza.
Almost there.
We all have black. Yeah, almost there, but still. Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, our legs as well. Like, so happy if we can shower. Okay, some nuts.
Well, open your black hands for me.
We're just like, we don't even care anymore.
Just eating all the
Yeah. Oh, almost there, but it's still quite a tricky part, I would say. Yeah, a tricky part. Not specifically heavy, but tricky. So happy if we're there.
Once back on the lowest part of the hike, the gravel increased, which made the road downwards much easier.
That is the end.
Seeing again this paved road, I know that we made it. And I felt so proud of all of us. And that was it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as it really supports me. And in the next video we're going to El Paredon, so see you there. Bye bye.